Hue, value, and saturation are the three attributes of a color. I'm not going to get all fancy with you, but instead, we'll try to make this as clear and simple as possible. Hue is just another word for color. So if you hear me talking about changing the hue, it means that I'm talking about changing the color. So for example, let's say I want to lighten, darken, or dull down this red without changing its hue. What should I do? So for a while, I used to teach elementary age children, and there were many times I would ask these students, how would I lighten this color? Some of them would say, well, you could either lighten it with white, and then some others would say, oh, well, you can also lighten it with yellow. But what's wrong with that? So why don't we break this down real fast? If we were to lighten this red with white, it would lighten the color without changing its hue. But if we tried to add yellow to it, it would change its hue to orange. So they were partially correct, because if you added yellow to your red, it would eventually lighten the red to be an orange, but it would also change its hues. And the same thing goes for when you want to darken a color. So let's pretend that I wanted to darken a color and I add black to it. We would get a darker version of the same hue. But if I added blue to it to darken the red, we would get purple. So again, if I wanted to darken a color, I could add black to it without changing its hue. And if we do add black to our color, this is called shading. And when we add white to our color, it's called tinting. And when we add gray, it's called toning. And that's really essentially using black and white is toning. Okay, so now saturation is the amount of color in your hue. If a color is highly saturated, that means there's a lot of color. So not a lot of white, black, or gray has been added to it. A low saturation means that there is not a lot of color, so it has lots of white, black, or gray. So to increase the saturation of a color, add more of the pure hue or the pure pigment. And to decrease the saturation, add white, black, or gray. Okay, so now value is the lightness or darkness of a color. And you can think of it as how close the color is to being to either white or black. So if your color is very, very light, it would be a high value. And if it's very, very dark in color, close to black, it would be a dark value. So to lighten the value of a color, you add white, and to darken the value of a color, add black. Okay, so now here is extra credit, and it may not make sense, but I'll throw it out there and see if it sticks with anyone. Okay, are you ready? If you want to change the hue of your color without changing its value, you can mix in another color. I'll leave that there with you.